Midderst, Midderst, this is Midderst. A cry not heard on this station platform for over 15 years, but a cry that will be heard once again in the future if a group of railway enthusiasts get their way. Midderst had originally been served by two railway companies, the London and South Western Railway from the west and the London, Brighton and South Coast Railway from the east and from the south. Before 1923 there were two stations, connected by rail over a bridge which could only take the weight of one wagon, so passengers had to walk along a footpath between the two. The grouping of 1923 changed all that. The gap was bridged, the old South Western station was closed, and the old Brighton station now served the town with trains from all three directions. Passenger services were withdrawn on the Midhurst to Chichester section in 1935, and freight services ceased at Cocking and Singleton in 1953. In the 1950s there were about 9 trains a day, with none on Sundays, but such was the scarcity of passengers that a one-coach train was often more than sufficient. Competition from local buses and the fact that it was more convenient for passengers wanting to travel to London to board a train at nearby Haslemere meant the station lost its passenger services in 1955. Goods traffic at the town continued for a while, but finally ceased in 1964, whilst further up the line freight continued for a further 2 years until the whole line was closed in 1966. Shortly after, the track was lifted by British Railways. Lavant remained in use for freight until 1968 and for sugar beet until 1970. Now, some 16 years after this charming market town lost its passenger railway service, a group of preservationists are intent on reopening the line and restoring passenger services once again. Their aim is to reinstate the line in stages and run it by volunteers as a preserved steam railway. They will start with restoring the station at Midhurst itself, and their ultimate goal is to reconnect the town with the main line to London and Littlehampton. In 1966 a Preservation Society was formed, and they succeeded in persuading British Railways not to lift the track in Midhurst station, but unfortunately failed to stop the demolition of the station buildings, which were razed to the ground in 1970. It's late 1971, the station buildings have been demolished, and the station site is now abandoned and is a shadow of its former self. The platforms are still in place, but are weed covered, and the running inboards have been removed and their foundations filled in with tarmac. The signal box and engine shed have similarly been dismantled, and already very little trace of them remains. The only building left standing is the small brick building in the yard, which used to be the coal office. The whole area is now looking rather sad and unloved. The sidings are now overgrown, but the tunnel is still in good condition and offers a tantalising glimpse of where the future line might go. The Preservation Society has not yet been given access to the site, but they are already collecting stock and other artefacts ready for the day when they can make a start. We wish them well, and we will be back next year to see how they got on and what progress they have made. But that's all for now. See you next time.